Hey everyone, it's Holyman and welcome back to the replay. This is a series where I'm going back through some of my favorite games of this generation and replaying them, and I'm just going to talk about them here in this little series. I know the replay is probably already a taken name. I'm sorry to anybody who has been using that name for a while. It's best I can come up with. If you have any other suggestions, please let me know. I'll gladly accept them. Also, I know my voice sounds a little weird. The allergies are really hitting me hard, and I'm starting to lose my voice. Sorry about that. But I do need to get this video out. So yeah, with that longer than usual intro out of the way, I will now get into my replay of Transistor. The first thing I wanted to get into is that this game is still absolutely gorgeous. I love its art style. I love everything about the game. The voice work is phenomenal. I also want to get into the music of this game. It is still, in my opinion, one of the top 5 soundtracks from this generation. By far. I don't know about all of gaming history and whatnot. That's a whole nother discussion. But for this generation, definitely a top 5 soundtrack. I listen to it all the time when I'm working. Like when I had my blog, I would put on this soundtrack and listen to it while I was writing. I listen to it from time to time when I'm drawing. So yeah, I just absolutely love this soundtrack. If you have not even heard the soundtrack, I would recommend giving it a shot. There are multiple versions of it. There's one with humming and there's one without. I personally prefer the one without humming, but that's just a personal taste of mine. And another thing I want to talk about was the story. I still really enjoy the story. Brief synopsis: you are a music singer. I think it's jazz, if I remember right. You're a jazz singer. Your name is Red. And you start the story, you've lost your voice, and your boyfriend, they never really say, but it's heavily implied that he's your boyfriend, is now in this sword called the Transistor, and you guys go through the city that's just falling apart from the process, and you figure things out. Still a pretty good story. I will contend that it's probably the best love story in gaming. It's really good. I was streaming this game on Twitch, and unfortunately, I had my controller speaker turned off. I have for a while, but it's definitely one of the best uses of the controller speaker, and also one of the best uses of your light in front of your PS4 controller. I just love what they did with it, and really, a lot of the early games from this generation really took advantage of everything that your controller can do. I found that out while replaying Infamous Second Son for a little bit. I just forgot everything that they do with it. So, little sidetrack there on the controller bit. But yeah, I still love the story. Still love everything they do with it. The other thing I really like about this game is the combat and the general gameplay itself. As you can see, it is an isometric. I would call it a tactical RPG. I don't know the official term they used for it, but I would call it a tactical RPG. But yeah, I really, really like it. I like the functions that you get. Each one of them is pretty unique. And I also like how they do everything where you have your main functions. They're basically your attack functions. You have your upgrade slots at the bottom of each one. So you have 4 slots for your attacks. At the bottom, you have multiple slots that you can upgrade, like use different functions, put them in there. And then you have passives, and they grant you a benefit. And the game really, really, really wants you to play around with each one. The only way that you can get a bio on each function is to actually use them in a different slot for at least one combat turn, I believe. Or it's until the next, I call it a safe spot. I don't know the actual term for it. But yeah, every time your health bar gets depleted, you lose the highest function, basically. So like you start off with, I believe, like 16 mem, and each one costs a certain amount. Like each function costs a certain amount. The highest attack function will go first. So you basically have 4 chances, and each time you lose one, you can't use it for at least one save point. That's when it'll come back. Luckily, your upgrade slots below the main ones will not go away, so you have a chance to use those as attacks. and it really forces you to change up every time and play with a different style. And that's what I did this time. I actually died a lot because I actually already have a playthrough of this game on my channel, and unfortunately I didn't have the ending. I accidentally deleted the ending, but like this is one of my earliest playthroughs. Like this was like the third game I ever did a playthrough on this channel for. But in that playthrough, I think I only lost one function the entire time. This time around, I think I was being a little more haphazard, and I lost a lot more functions, but that forced me to play a lot more. I also dug deeper into the systems a lot more this time around. Like, for instance, you can go into, I forget what they call it, but like it's where you can stop time, basically, and plan out your stuff, and then you have a cooldown. I played around a lot with backstab this time. I played around with actually, I believe it's called void. Like it puts like a debuff on the enemy so you deal more damage, so you can stack that with backstab. So I did that the first 2 times I played this game. I think I just brute forced everything, if I remember right. And yeah, I just really like the way combat works in this game. It's so much fun. Also, speaking with dying a lot more, the boss fights are a lot harder than I remember. I think I was just playing worse. It definitely was that I was probably playing worse. But that being said, the boss fights themselves, as I said, a lot harder than I remember, except for the final one. The final one is a lot easier than I remember it being. Like the first time around, I think I died like twice to that guy. And like this time around, I actually did pretty well. I don't even think, no, I lost 2 functions, but by that time he was already on his like last health bar, so it didn't really matter at that point. But yeah, and I think that's pretty much all I have to say about this game. It's still one of my favorite games from this generation. I don't know if it got ported to Xbox One anymore. Well, I don't know if it got ported to Xbox One, period. It was a PlayStation exclusive at launch. I think it might be on PC. But yeah, if you have not played this game, go check it out. Supermassive Games are probably, they're up there in terms of my favorite developers working today. I am not as high on Bastion as a lot of people are, but Bastion's still a really good time. Pyre is really good too. It's unfortunate that not a lot of people played Pyre. I really enjoyed it, but I kind of understand why people were not willing to give it a shot, because it is kind of out there. It's more of a sports game, I guess, but like it's still really, really good. And I have not had a chance to play Hades. I don't own a PC. So, but yeah, they're really good. They're really talented, and I support them in everything they do. And yeah, with that being said, that's all my thoughts on my replay of Transistor. And I'm just going to end the video here. So if you liked what you've seen, you can go ahead and like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to my channel for more game reviews, videos, occasional streams, all that good gaming stuff. Sorry if my voice was a little raspy. Like I said, my allergies are really kicking my ass. So, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.